This is the Look Pivot 18 and it's hugely popular with freeskiers. In fact, it's so popular that after Look discontinued it in 2004, they brought it back 5 years later because of popular demand. But here comes the crazy thing. This is my touring binding. Let me explain. So this Look binding has been converted by a company called Cast Touring, and the way the system works is that you can replace the toe piece, the Look piece, with a Dynafit tech piece. Suddenly you got pins for uphill touring. As for the back, you don't really have to do much. The heel piece just stays as it is. You just flip this clip in order to lock the brakes. Boom. So let's do a little test. Start the clock, how long it takes us to convert it back to skiing mode. Done. Pretty fucking quick. And one more time, back to touring mode. Probably could have done that faster. We also have two climbing aids, a smaller one and a bigger one, which I quite like. Pretty sweet setup in my opinion. Wait a minute, something here is not right. Something is missing. Oh, right. There we go. So full disclaimer, this video isn't sponsored in any way. Cast didn't pay me anything. I actually bought this whole setup with my own money.
Don't be ridiculous. You don't have any money.
Yeah, other than that, it's my own opinion. The only reason I'm actually making this video is because I really like this setup. So I've been using this system for a year now. First I thought I'd keep my old system as well, my old touring setup, which has a shift binding on it or S-lap binding, same thing. But now that I tried this one out, I'm so happy with it that I don't even want to use the shift anymore, and I'm probably going to sell it. Especially because there's one issue with the shift that really annoys the shit out of me, but more on that later. So if you like to shred pretty hard, ski steep stuff, do cliffs, then yeah, this is a fabulous setup because, as I mentioned before, the Look is one of the most trusted bindings in free skiing. Now, could you do the same kind of skiing on a different touring binding? Well, unless your name is Jeremy Heights, probably yes. The question is, do you want to? Because I think it's nice to have your mind at ease when you're about to go into something gnarly and you don't have to worry about the binding. So Aurel, you got the shift binding as well. What do you think of it?
I like it. I think it skis really well, and overall it's a good binding for what it is, but sometimes I find the toe piece to be a little bit unreliable. It's come undone a couple times.
I think what's great about this setup, what no one really talks about, is that it's actually really good for travel because you only need to bring one pair of skis instead of like an alpine ski and a touring ski, especially if you do more resort skiing on your trip. So I'm currently planning this ultimate ski trip through Japan, and this will definitely be the setup that I'm bringing because it'll be resort a lot of the time, but also some touring. So then this is really great. So if uphill is your bigger priority on ski touring and you don't charge super hard on the way down, then yeah, this binding won't make much sense to you. You can find something that's a lot lighter. This toe piece is actually not that heavy, but you'll still have to carry the Look part in your backpack. So on the Cast website, the full setup comes in at $735 US.
And I realize this may be somewhat expensive,
which is definitely not cheap. You could pick up a Shift 13 for around $400. Now, if you already happen to have a Look binding at home, a Look Pivot 15 or 18, won't work on the 12 or 14, then you can actually buy just the conversion kit, which is around $350, and it turns it into this full setup. Actually, if you live in Europe, you can only buy the conversion kit, and it actually might save you some money because you can pick up a Look binding for around $280, which brings down your total to $640.
beer money.
And if you're worried about doing the conversion, it's actually really easy. You gotta just take out this front screw, and then there's a spring in there. You put the toe piece onto the new cast plate. It takes 5 minutes. Even I can do it, and I have two left hands.
How did I get so useless so fast?
I mean, I didn't do it, obviously, because if you need more info, there are a bunch of videos about it on the Cast website. As far as mounting goes, the Cast actually uses the exact same setup as the Look, so your holes will be identical. That means any shop can do it, really. The only addition is that you need to put 2 holes in for the climbing aid. So if you already have a ski with a Look on it, you could actually use the exact same holes if you were to convert it. So the Look binding comes in at 1,245 grams for the half pair. That's around 44 ounces if you live in Liberia or Myanmar. What? The US is using Imperial too.
God bless America.
The fuck were they thinking? You have to add around 200 grams for the climbing aid and this plate. This plate is actually really thin. This toe piece is really light, comes in at 129 grams. So I think weight-wise, what's on your foot uphill is around the same as a shift, maybe a tiny bit more. And what you'll carry in your backpack is this toe piece, which comes in at 542 grams. So 2 of that, so over a kilo in your backpack. Okay, let's do a little side-by-side comparison with the shift. Now there's 3 issues I have with the shift, and the biggest one for me is the climbing aid. Might not look like much, but yeah, I really hate that climbing aid. I think it's too short and it really annoys the shit out of me on steeper uphill bits. Might just be a personal thing for me. Maybe other people don't have that problem, but it really makes me not want to tour on the shift. Another thing that I prefer on the cast is that I think it's much easier to get your boot into the toe piece. Sometimes takes me a while to get in there, but yeah, maybe that's just me being fumbly. I don't know. And another thing that annoys me on the shift is that the brakes come undone quite a lot, I find. They've also come undone on the cast, but I feel not as much. And now as I was researching for this video, I actually found out that I might have just put in those screws too tight and it can actually be fixed. So yeah. I also don't like how snappy this is. Like, it really sucks doing this with gloves. Better on this one. Just easier. I think the biggest advantage on the shift is that you don't have to take out another piece from your backpack when you switch to touring or skiing. It's just all in one, so now it's in walk and we can easily put it into ski mode without having to reach in our pocket. So yeah, that's nice for sure on the shift. And of course, if you have your DINs really high, then the shift only goes to 13, whereas the look goes to 18. Now I have mine on 12, so shift still works, but I'm already on the higher end of the spectrum.
So the biggest pros for the Freetour are its reliability and that it tours quite nicely, but compared to other touring bindings, it's not as light and it also costs a little bit more.
Okay, let's check out some frequently asked questions from the Cast website in case we forgot anything. Like I already said, in order to use the upgrade kit, you must have a pivot 18 or 15, not the 12 or 14. You can use any type of ski boot with the Freetour. You just gotta make sure that you order the right AFD. So that's this little plate here. There's 3 types. There's Alpine, WTR and Grip Walk. So they're all slightly different. In case you do want to switch later, because sometimes you use Alpine boots and sometimes WTR, you can easily change this piece here. So just make sure to order it in advance. If you live in the US, you can actually send your ski boot to the Cast factory and they will do a boot conversion, which they've done on this boot. So now I have pin inserts in here, which is kind of nice because it used to be my regular ski boot and now I could use it for touring as well. Unfortunately, I couldn't find anyone in Europe who does it, or at least I don't know of anyone, because I would really like to do the same thing to my new Alpine boots. So yeah, if you do know anyone who does it in Europe, please let me know in the comments because I'd be really down. But yeah, if you have any more questions, check out the Cast website or leave a comment below. Like I said, I'm not making any money off these links. None of them are affiliate. I guess I'm just a little bit of a fanboy.
Sorry, I don't speak fanboy.
In the next episode, we'll be going to Canada to do a comparison between Canadian and Austrian ski resorts. Who is the better skiing? Who is the better après? So check that out. Thank you for watching and I'll see you then. Prost.